Honkai Star Rail is in serious danger. Now, of course, you may know me as a Wuthering Waves channel, and if you're new, yes, I'm a Wuthering Waves channel. However, this is more than just Star Rail. This is about gacha as a whole, because the things that Hoyoverse are doing to the game sets a nasty precedent for any other gacha game that may be coming out, or may be out right now. For example, Wuthering Waves. Now, the term serious danger is quite, well, harsh, but I think it is warranted. Now, of course, everyone and their mother knows that Star Rail is made by a company called Hoyoverse. And this company, well, isn't exactly known for making good decisions. I mean, when you have a nation of war, and you've got a damn techno DJ and a BDSM motorbike girl, then I think something's up.
What the fuck?
And that's not to mention the other countless bad quality of life features in that game in Genshin. It is absolutely wild that it's been out for 5 years, and Wuthering Waves on launch had better quality of life, and that's saying something. Now, of course, you may have seen the community uproar about Star Rail recently, due to multiple things, of course, but what's making the headlines now, and technically it's actually late because I'm a few weeks late to this, but I actually wanted to wait a bit to really see if the devs were going to go through with this, which they are. Now, of course, this is, the famous Casteris global passive. Now, it is confirmed that version 4 of the beta will have this global passive, so it is basically confirmed that it will be going through. Now, the reason why I say this game is in serious danger is because this not only sets a precedent for the game, but it also sets a precedent for other games in general. Now, what I mean by that is that this global passive allows you to be revived if you die, basically, without even having her in your team. Get that. A team-based game with teams that now benefit from characters that aren't even in that said team. Just think about that. Of course, there is an argument to be made, let's say, well, it's just a cheap revive gimmick, of course. You know, if you really need to be revived, maybe your build's wrong. I'd say that on its own is a very shallow argument because it's not looking at the bigger picture, which of course this video will cover, because of course these are just leaks, and I'm not usually a leak channel, and I don't really look at Star Rail leaks that much. But there are 3 more characters with these global passives, and it's not just gimmicks. It is flat stat boosts. Of course, these leaks could be wrong. However, it does not nullify the implications of what this Casteris passive is. Because first, it's a global passive that revives people. Then it could be a global passive that gives buffs of some kind, speed buffs, HP buffs, attack buffs, and that's when it gets very bad, especially for a lot of people in the community as well. I'm seeing a lot of communities being absolutely outraged by this. Even China was outraged by this decision, and Hoyo is doubling down on it, which I have to say is an extremely ballsy move. Now, I know they have done some stupid stuff in the past, but that's the Genshin devs, and there's some sort of rational part of me that says there's no way that they can hear the outrage and double down on it if they think that they're not going to do good with it. What I mean is, I'm assuming a lot of the outrage came from the fact that if this works in endgame modes, then other global passives will, and therefore that would be absolutely ridiculous. So that outrage is very much warranted in my opinion, and I'm pretty pissed off about it myself. That's why I'm making this video. Of course, if these passives don't work in endgame, then it's really not a problem. However, that only nullifies one part of the problem. The problem is that it still sets a precedent for other games to do this and then maybe do it worse. Adding these passives, there is no winning with adding these passives for the devs. Another reason why the community is so outraged is because of the stuff that Hoyo was done with Star Rail before. A lot of people started falling out of love with the game during 2.6, and there's also been heavy criticism of the story and its storytelling since 2.6 as well, all really compounding in 3.0 when you had basically black screen simulator and wall of text reading simulator. And there's just been quite a steep power creep since 2.5, 2.6. And of course, when you have more power creep and when you basically make the end games harder to compensate for that power creep, you're basically telling the community, hey, if you don't pull this character, good luck with the end games. Of Of course, when I was playing these endgames, I thought, oh, well, of course they're supposed to be pandered to the new character, but this is ridiculous. Because I was playing the MOC, which required Rapper, with the banana boss, and I was getting really frustrated. So cynicists and maybe even level-headed people would say, well, it's not a coincidence that they're adding global passives after the huge power creep incident. And of course, what do these two things mean for the company? Money. Lots of money. But that comes at an expense, and that's the expense of the player and the player's experience. So if this passive comes to fruition, which it will, it is a very slippery slope, because as soon as you start adding stat buffs in those passives, there will be a lot of outrage, more than this Castris one. And if you don't quite understand why, let me ask you this. You've pulled, I don't know, the Herta, or you've pulled Fei Zhao. Fei Zhao loves speed. She really likes her speed, along with maybe Aglaya, for example. Let's say you pull one of the new units that gives you speed on a global passive. Great, you've got more speed. But let's say you don't. Your account, every single one of your characters in your account is now worse relative to the game and the meta because you don't have that character. It could be a character that you don't even like, that you've never even thought about pulling, but now you have to at least think about it because of their global passive. But guys, honestly, if you're still planning to play Star Rail like I am, the best thing to do is to just not pull the character. Of course, the best way to make a difference, however, is to just not play the game. However, that's not what I'm saying. If you enjoy the game like I do, continue playing. However, do not pull characters if you don't want them. Genuinely, guys, I mean that. The Jades in endgame are not worth it. If you enjoy the game, then don't ruin that enjoyment by pulling characters that you don't like. Because as soon as you start pulling characters you don't like, you have become a meta slave, and it is not fun. But if you like them and they are meta, then that's just a double bonus, isn't it? So my personal opinion is that these changes are absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what they're thinking, and I don't know why they're doubling down. There must be something that we're not seeing if they're doubling down like this, because I really hope it is. There is no way that they are that stupid. There is no way. Because of course, you've got the dev team of Genshin and the dev team of Star Rail. Yes, they are owned by Hoyoverse, but they are different. That's the only copium I can think of, is that surely the Hoyoverse itself is not this cancer that infects every game that they make. But regardless, these changes are absolutely stupid, and it's a very, very dangerous precedent. And I hope Kuro Games of Wuthering Waves can really learn from this and just not do it, because gachas will be in trouble if this thing catches on. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. Oh God. Bye-bye for now.